On first sight, as the ferry reaches the port, lays Pothia, the capital of the island. The town, amphitheatrically built, welcomes the visitor. Kalymnos has been always known to the world as the sponge divers' island. Today, is also very well known as the climbers' island. But from the bottom of the seas until the sky, it's a long way to go. On the right side of the port, overhanging above, the settlement of Agios Stephanos, with the sponge divers and the fishermen's houses. The agonized hunt of the underwater golden treasure, the sponge, has its roots deep down in the island's tradition. Sponge diving, until formerly, had been the main labor activity in Kalymnos and held the island's economy vivid during very tough times. Reaching until Tripoli, Benghazi, Cyrenaica, Derna, Maghreb and Sfax, sponge divers were either using primitive means such as fish spears and heavy stones to take them to the bottom, or, later on, the fernez and the scaphandro diving suits to harvest the sponge.
55 χρόνια βουτούσα. Έχω τώρα 3-4 χρόνια που σταμάτησα, 5. Και κάνω αυτή τη δουλειά τώρα που πουλάω τα σουγκάρια τα δικά μου από μέσα από το καίκι μου. Παλιά ήταν η σπογγαλία. Πηγαίναμε στη Λιβύη και οργανωνόμαστε όσο στάναμε με τυπόζητα, με κόσμο πολύ. Τώρα αυτά χαθήκανε τώρα αυτά.
The scaphandro suit, along with financial development, brought a great tragedy to the island due to the massive cases of the so-called diver's disease, which gave in result for many becoming paralyzed or even never making it back home.
Τελευταία κατάδυση βουτούσα από 20 χρόνια. Πρόλαβα εγώ το σκάφανδρο, αλλά δεν δούλεψα με το σκάφανδρο. Εξαρτώσουν από τον πάνω που ήταν πάνω στο καίκι. Όταν λοιπόν εσύ κάτω κινδύνευες, ο πάνω να μπορεί να μην ήταν απασχολημένος αλλού. Και δύσκολα να βγεις μόνος σου πάνω. Αν δεν σε τραβήξουν να σε βγάλουν πάνω με το σκάφανδρο, είναι δύσκολο. Ενώ τώρα με το κομπρεσέ με τα πέδιλα, εγώ βγήκα πάνω από 50 μέτρα. Κόπια γέρνα μου βγήκα πάνω από 50 μέτρα. Και βγήκα να δεν έπαθα τίποτα. Κατάλαβες. Ενώ με το σκάφανδρο ήσουν καταδικασμένος, έμενες κάτω, τελείωσε. Δεν ήταν ευχάριστη εικόνα γιατί έβλεπες να με ανθρώπους νέους, σακάτες, άλλοι πεθαίνανε. Είχε πένθος πολύ, έφυγε πολλοί κόσμος, Βαρβαριά κάτω είναι γεμάτο. Οστάνα με Καλύμνο, Σουγκαράδο. Σφουγγάρι το μάρι, κατάλαβες.
The disease occurs due to the nitrogen bubbles formed in the blood during the surfacing of the diver and can block the blood vessels of the human body. The Russian professor Charles Flegel gave a great struggle against the use of the scaphandro, and along with Kalymnian authorities, officially abolished it in 1902. But its actual use was never stopped. The precious merchandise was destined to international markets such as England, France, Germany, Switzerland, United States, Russia, Norway, and many others. On the left side of the port stands the Church of Saint Nicholas, protector of the seamen, and built from donations as an act of deep faith and love.
Ένα κομμάτι μεγάλο έτσι ήμασταν παλιά, οι καπετανοί, οι σφουγγαράδες. Ενώ κουραζόμαστε αυτό αλλά όταν ερχόμαστε στον τόπο μας να γλεντήσουμε, να φάμε, να πιούμε, να αυτό με τους φίλους, με τις οικογένειές μας, με όλα να τα γλέντια βέβαια ήταν πάνω απ' όλα. Έχει ευτυχώς και ακολουθούν και παιδιά νέα. Στα γλέντια στους χώρους προχθές κάναμε ένα γλέντι. Εγώ ήμουν πιο λολός επάλαβος από τους νέους. Για μένα αυτό είναι το καλύτερο μου, αυτό να με, στον εαυτό μου το σφουγγάρι. Γιατί μεγάλωσα 6 παιδιά ωραία, τα τακτοποίησα κατά κάποιον τρόπο και μου έδωσε ένα με ψωμί χορτάτο, το είδος αυτό. Κατάλαβες. Το έχω βάλει δηλαδή μέσα στο αίμα μου, ρε παιδί μου, εγώ τώρα όταν έρθω το πρωί, περάσω από εδώ, ανοίξω την αποθήκη μου, να δω και αυτό να με δεν κατεβαίνω κάτω. Το κατάλαβες. Είναι μεράκι, πώς να το πούμε, είναι... Ο Καλύμνος για τη θάλασσα είναι δυνατός. Είναι δυνατός. Και τα παιδιά τα δικά μας που πάνε μποροπλιάρχη και μηχανικοί αυτό έχω κουβεντιάσει εγώ πολλές φορές με άλλους από άλλα μέρη. Καπεταναίος μου λέει, δεν έχει μου λέει πιο ναυτικούς από τους Καλύμνιους και πιο γερούς στη δουλειά.
The dance of Mechanikos is a contemporary tribute to the sponge divers. On a symbolic gesture, the leader dancer throws his walking stick, defeats the disease, and says yes to life. During the decade of the 1960s, Kalymnos could count up to 91 sponge diving boats, an element which proves the high activity and the flourish of this harsh profession on the island. Since 1986 and until today, climate changes have affected the sponges in the bottom of the sea, since the sponge itself consists of a living organism. The hunting of the golden treasure is never going to be the same. Still, the identity of Kalymnos is closely connected to this activity up to nowadays. In the contemporary sponge traders warehouses, the processing of sponge still revives. The majority of sponge divers, due to the great crisis, finally switched to the profession of fisherman. Up until today, Kalymnos has the largest fishing fleet in Greece.
Τώρα οι ψαράδες μας που είναι τώρα στις δουλειές αυτές, ψεύονται όλοι η Ελλάδα. Είναι καλοί είναι οι ψαράδες, γιατί δουλεύουν σκληρά. Όταν θα έρθει μια γιορτή να με αισθάνομαι μεγάλη ευθύνη, γιατί εγώ τις γιορτές όλες αυτές τις γλεντούσα με γλέντια, με βιολιά και ήμουνα όλο χαρά ήμουνα. Είμαι τρελός επάλαβος με την Κάλυμνο.
In Pothia, the center of the coastal residential zone, two-storied residences are raised, homes to the wealthy sponge traders and captains. A strong highlight in the island's capital is the Temple of Christ the Savior, decorated with valuable artworks created by local artists, surrounded by a unique mosaic floor and its marble belfry in the front yard. The buildings around the Christ Temple that nowadays host the municipality, the county, and the Port Authority were built at the beginnings of the 20th century by the Italian conquerors. A great sponge trader and donor of Kalymnos, Nikolaos Vouvalis, donored public buildings such as schools and the local hospital. The building, formerly known as the Naval School back in 1912, today consists of the Naval Museum, where exhibits from the sponge diver's life, along with folklore costumes and items, are presented to the visitor. The water element seems to be a second nature for the people of Kalymnos, who have been plowing the seas in many different ways through the years, as sponge divers, as captains, as fishermen, all together as people whose day work is identified with the sea. Through this intense occupation, a natural need of a boatyard's creation was born, a place that could serve for the construction and maintenance of their own boats. Therefore, up until today, at the Lafasi settlement, traditional hulls are being shaped and carved, getting ready for their long journeys.
Έλα βοήθα το θόρυ τώρα, να βάλουμε τη νεροβολή.
As a sacred pilgrimage for the worshippers, on the top of the city stands the monastery of Saint Savas, a humble ascetic figure who spent the last years of his life in Kalymnos. The great castle of Hora was built in the 11th century during the era of the Order of St. John's Knights, both for the protection of the Kalymnian people against the pirates, as well as to serve the needs of a town. At Pigadia settlement lays the Temple of Jesus of Jerusalem along with St. Sophia's Chapel. The first was built on top of the ruins of the ancient temple of Apollo, protector of Kalymnos during the Hellenistic age. Some of the finds from the excavations are now exhibited in the British Museum as well as in the Archaeological Museum of Kalymnos. In the midst of the 15th century, a smaller castle was built by the St. John's Knights, the castle of Chrysocheria, rising between Hora and Pothia. But as time goes by, things change and Kalymnos faces a new future.
Αυτή τη στιγμή λοιπόν στην Κάλυμνο μπορούμε έτσι με πολύ μεγάλη ευκολία να πούμε ότι η αναρρίχηση συνέβαλε η τουριστική σεζόν να επιμεκυνθεί, πράγμα που είναι ζητούμενο από πολλούς κυρίως νησιωτικούς προορισμούς, να επιμεκυνθεί και το νησί να υποφελείται τα μέγιστα από αυτήν την δραστηριότητα η οποία έχει εξελιχθεί να είναι ουσιαστικά το κύριο τουριστικό προϊόν του νησιού.
It all began in 1996 when the Italian climber Andrea Di Bari visited Kalymnos for the first time. While visiting the north side of the island, having the imposing view of the arid, rocky mountains in front of his eyes, he was left amazed. Soon, he started asking himself how could a land like this not be known as a sports climbing destination. Next year, 1997, Di Bari returns to the island and drills the first climbing routes. The local community and municipality slowly recognizes that the treasure is now relocated from the sea bottoms to the sky, having the rocks in between. Today, thousands of passionate climbers urge from all around the world to visit Kalymnos and enjoy over 3,500 climbing routes that can satisfy and challenge from beginners up to world champions. Taking Kalymnos as an all-year destination, one can either choose March to June or September to November as high climbing seasons, or the periods in between if seeking different aspects of the island. Kalymnos today is considered to be one of the most popular climbing destinations worldwide. The annual Kalymnos Climbing Festival has become an established event for more than 1 decade now, hosting world champion climbers.
Πρόγραμμα το οποίο διαρκεί περίπου 3 μέρες, όπου υπάρχουν ποικίλες εκδηλώσεις, από εκδηλώσεις αμιγώς αναρχητικές, όπως για παράδειγμα κάποιες οπτικοακουστικές παρουσιάσεις γνωστών και επώνυμων αναρχητών. Ένα event που ουσιαστικά προσελκύει αρκετό κόσμο, κυρίως γίνεται ως, αν θέλετε, μία εκδήλωση απλά και μόνο για να ικανοποιήσει τους αναρχητές που είναι εδώ. Να αντιληφθούν ότι τους αισθανόμαστε σαν δικούς μας ανθρώπους. Προσφέρουμε κάποιες εκδηλώσεις αυτό το τριήμερο, στις οποίες συμμετέχουν και πραγματικά στείνεται ένα πανηγύρι, μια γιορτή της αναρρίχησης στο νησί. απίστευτο από πόσες χώρες του κόσμου επισκέπτονται αναρχιτές στο νησί μας για να κάνουν αυτό το αγαπημένο τους χόμπι.
The island is beautiful, just beautiful. Many rocks to climb, a lot. And especially there are like old people, 73 years old, climbing everywhere. That's really nice.
It's so amazing. You can come anytime and enjoy it to the maximum. The people are nice, the food, the hospitality, the people, everything is really nice. And you can come, relax, chill, stay for a month, and you still always find new routes to climb.
I love it. Amazing routes, amazing island, beautiful people. It's been awesome. Yeah, it's a big experience. We're coming back.
Yeah, fantastic festival.
When you got a job to do, spend my nights down at the drive-in. And that's when I met you, standing on your mama's porch. You told me that you wait forever. Oh, when you held my hand, I knew that it was now or never. Those were the best days of my life.
Vathi Valley consists of a very special location in Kalymnos. Being the only place with such vegetation, it looks like a small green oasis amongst the dry, imposing mountains. Vathi concentrates the most of the island's archaeological finds, proving the rich cultural activity of the past. Vathi's little port is formed at the ending of a natural fjord, leaving the visitor charmed by its beauty. Away from the uproar of the town and only 5 minutes away on a boat ride lays the islet of Kalymnos. A unique sample of serenity and simplicity that calls everyone to enjoy its peaceful alleys and its crystal blue sea. Pserimos is another islet with similar characteristics. Located between Kalymnos and Kos, offers virgin landscapes, beautiful sandy beaches, as well as warm hospitality from the locals for those who wish to relax. The beaches found in Kalymnos are numerous and of incomparable diversity. Some of them cosmopolitan, full of pulse, and others more isolated, challenging the visitor to explore them. Kalymnos can only be an enchanting place with all these contrasts that beholds. It is a destination to be enjoyed all through the year in various ways. One can walk the stunning paths, wander in the mysterious sea culture, discover the rich flora, taste special gastronomical delicacies, dive into the deep crystal blue waters. one can simply taste Kalymnos from the bottom of the seas up to the skies.